Hello and welcome to week 22. So once I've already started, so I'm looking forward to uploading this. And if you're already watching this on YouTube, that means I have finished uploading week 22. And that means I have just 6 more videos to go. But right now, I'm still at the beginning of the sequence. So without too many words, without wasting too much time, let us begin. So take a comfortable seat. Place your hands close to the sides of the body. Press the fingers down. Use the hands to lift the sides of the chest. Take the outer shoulders back. Bring the shoulder blades down and move them into the back. The shoulder blades help to open the chest, and we maintain the lift and length of our whole front of the body. And that way the head aligns well in relationship to the torso, the pelvis, and maintaining this lift of the spine. We slowly bring the palms to rest at the center of our heart, settling our awareness to the present moment, to become aware of the sensations of the body, perhaps the touch of the feet on your mat, the touch of the hands pressing against each other. Becoming alert, aware, and starting the practice. And as always, to sanctify this space, to bring a sense of reverence to the tradition of yoga practice that has survived through many generations, through different time spaces. We start with the invocation to Patanjali, always beginning with the 3 Oms. So take a deep, slow, long inhale and exhale. And then we start with the 3 Oms. So inhale. Om. Om. Yogena chitasya padena vacham malam sharirasya chavaidakena yopa karotam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankachakra siddharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Harihi Om. Take another deep, slow, long inhale and exhale. Slowly lowering your head down. Release the palms, place them back on your legs. Gently lifting your head up. Open your eyes. So as always, we start in Samasthiti or Tarasana. So please position yourself once more on the center of your mat. Carefully bringing the big toes close together. Pressing the bottom of the feet evenly down. Distributing the weight of your body not only on the toes, but also shifting your weight back to the heels. Bringing your calf muscles closer, your thighs closer. Straighten the knees. Lift the waistline. Spread your collarbones from the shoulders. Extend down to the elbows, down to the wrist. Opening the palms of the hand, extending the fingers down, keeping the neck long, head upright. And then from Samasthiti, we move to Urdhva Hastasana. So stretch your arms straight in front of you, opening through the palms of the hand, keeping the upper arms firm. With an inhalation, go ahead and stretch your arms up. Take your attention to the outer upper arms, bring them closer. At the same time, see that your elbows are not bending. Extend your forearms, extend your wrist. Move the upper arms back in line with the shoulders. Lift and lengthen the whole spine up. At the same time, evenly press the bottom of the feet down, legs straight. Arms back, opening the armpit chest. Now slowly release. Bring your hands down. Urdhva Baddhanguliyasana. Right thumb on top of the chin. Turning the palms out. Keep the thumbs touching. Spread through the palm of the hand, the center of the palm. Bring your outer elbows in. Keep the arms straight with an inhalation. Once more going up. Lengthen the inner and the outer upper arm. At the same time, bring your outer elbows in. Keep a good clasp with the fingers. Lift up, stretch up. If you can bring your upper arms closer towards the head, go for it. At the same time, see that your elbows are straight. As you open the armpit chest, move the upper arms back. Press the feet evenly down on the mat. Now bring the hands down. Change the interlace. Turning the palms out. Elbows firm. With an inhalation, once more go up, stretch up. Take your attention to the outer upper arms. Elongating the sides of the chest. Keep the weight even on the heels. Lift the ribs. At the same time, extend the buttocks down towards the floor. Press your heels. Press the inner, the outer edges of the feet. Keep the toes extending forward. Lift up, stretch up, work your upper arms back, opening the back ribs. And then bring the hands down. Utthita Trikonasana. Hands at the center. Jump or spread your legs out as you wish. Stretch your arms out from the center of the chest. Keep the lift and lengthening of the torso, spreading from the center of the chest. Turn your right leg out completely. That's the thigh, the knee, the foot turns. Press the outer edge of your left foot. Lengthen both sides of the waistline, and from the hips go down. Take your right hand down, turning from the right hip to the left, right side of your chest to the left. Use your left hand to lift the whole left side of the chest up. Be firm on the outer edge of your left leg straight, right leg straight. Now use the top arm, inhale and come up. Turn your toes in. Turn your left leg out, again turning from the root of the leg. That means the whole left inner knee has to turn to the outer knee. Press the bottom of your foot down. Keep your left hip in. Lengthen the buttocks down towards the floor. Take your attention to your right thigh. Right heel presses firmly down. Lengthening both sides of the torso. Going down from the hip, not from the waistline, as you take your hands down. Hold the shin. Use the top right arm to lift the whole right side of the chest up. See that your head is neutral. If you can turn your head, of course you can. But at the same time, see that your chest is not facing down. Your chest is lifting away from the floor. We are turning from the left side of the belly to the right. The left armpit goes up to the right and lift the right side of the chest up. So your left side, which is from the bottom, turns up to the right and the right side lifts up. Keep your right leg straight, left leg straight. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes in and jump and bring your legs back. Pausing once more in Samasthiti, extending from the shoulders, bringing the shoulder blades into the back, elbows straight, palms extended. Virabhadrasana 2. Bring your hands in the center again. Jump and spread your legs out. Utthita Hastasana, stretching out from the center of the chest. Parsva Hastasana, turning your right leg out, keeping the left foot firmly grounded. Make sure the buttocks are extending down, the front of the abdomen, the pubic bone lifts up, the front ribs lift up. Opening the front of the chest, bending from the right leg as you go down from the hip. At the same time, see that your torso stays as centered as possible. You can turn to look towards your right fingertips. You can go down from the left hip. Try to get that 90 degree with the front leg. If your distance is short, take your left leg further back. But at the same time, you want your torso to turn from the right to the left, right armpit to the left, and extending each arm equally down. Also observe that your left leg is straight. The outer edge of your left heel is firm. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes to face forward again, rotating from the left thigh, turning the knee, the foot. Evenly press the outer edge of your right heel. Keep the right side of the chest, left side of the chest facing forward. Keep the torso lifting away from the pelvis as you descend your hips down, remembering to keep them compact. Go down from the pelvis, bend your leg at that 90 degree to the floor. At the same time, you want to see that your left waistline turns from the left to the right. Your right leg is straight and only your head is turning to look towards your fingertips. You can go down from the hips. At the same time, see that the weight doesn't go to the left toes. It stays on the left heel. Right leg remains straight. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes in and jump and bring your legs back and pause. Take a moment. Shoulders back, elbows straight, observing the breath. Normal soft inhale and exhale. Uttita Parsvaika. Bring your hands at the center. Jump and spread your legs out. By now, you should be knowing these basic poses quite well, at least the name of the pose, how to get into the pose, out of the pose. Improving the pose, of course, is a lifetime of practice. Spreading the chest, turn your right leg out. Left foot presses evenly down. Maintain the lift and length of your spine. Bending from the leg like you did in Virabhadrasana 1. Here again, extend the whole right side of your torso. Take it down as far as you can. Place your right hand on the floor if it's possible and extend your left arm over your head. As you're here in the pose, remember that you are turning from the abdomen, turning from the chest. Keep your left leg firm. Press into the outer edge of your left heel. And if you're able to, look up. At the same time, you want to descend your hips down, move your right knee to the right upper arm, and turn from the right side of the chest to the left. Now, inhale and come up. Turn your feet to face forward. Expand from the center of the chest. Turn your left leg out. Keep your weight heavy on the outer edge of your right heel. Keeping the right sitting bone, moving down, bending from the left leg, going down from the pelvis, lengthening the whole left side of your body. See if you can reach, move that armpit chest down, placing your hand on the floor, move your right arm over your head. And here too, the left inner knee goes to the outer knee, the left arm resists, the left sitting bone, the outer hip moves in. Turning from the left side of the chest to the right and extending your right arm over your head. When you're in the pose, pay special attention to see that your weight is on the outer edge of your right heel, your right knee is straight, and you continue your rotation from the left hip to the right, left armpit to the right. Stretch the whole right arm away from the right waistline. Now use the top arm. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes in and jump and return back to your base position of Samasthiti. Lift the front armpit chest, taking the outer shoulders back, moving the shoulders down. Now, after Parsvaika, we are going to do Virabhadrasana 1, but I thought as a challenge, it would be quite interesting to perhaps do the poses one after another and just to keep a little bit of our endurance going. So let's begin. Bring your hands in the center, jump and spread your legs out. Lift and stretch your arms up. Lengthen both sides of the torso, turning yourself to the right. So let's turn our left foot 60 degrees. Turn your right knee, right thigh, right foot up. Keep lifting both sides of the torso and turn from the back of your left thigh. Turn your left hip. Turn the left side of the waistline to the right, left side of your chest to the right. Keep reaching up, looking straight. Begin to bend your leg. As you bend your leg, you lower your hips so the front leg goes down to a 90-degree angle. At the same time, remember to stamp the outer edges of the foot of your left leg and turn from the left outer hip. Turn from the back of the thigh. But we have to see that the whole thigh, that hip is lifting up, not falling into the floor. So we go into the lumbar spine. That left buttock goes down. It moves from the center of the sacrum outward, and that's what helps you to turn the hips. At the same time, you also have to take your right shoulder back as you bring your left side of the chest forward. Reach up, stretch up, take your arms behind your head and go down from the pelvis. You can look up if you have your balance, and then use the arms. Inhale and come up. Keep the arms lifted if you can manage it. Turning to the left, turn your right foot in. Press the outer edges of the heel. Turn your left leg, left knee, left thigh, left foot out. Firmly stamping the outer edge of your right heel. Start turning from the back of your right inner thigh. Turn your hip, turn your chest, turn your pelvis. At the same time, see that the abdomen is lifting up. The pelvis is not collapsing on your left thigh. Lift and stretch your arms up, turning from the right to the left, and begin to bend your left leg as you go down from the pelvis, coming into a 90-degree angle. At the same time, see that the rotation of the right hip to the left, the right side of the chest to the left. Reach up, stretch up, move the arms behind your ears, and look up if you're able to keep your balance. Use the arms, inhale and come up. Turn yourself to face forward, feet facing forward, arms out to the side, jump and come back to the center. Pause here for a few moments. Shoulders back, elbows straight. Next, the two balancing poses, Ardha Chandrasana, and then followed by Virabhadrasana 3. Hands at the center of the chest, bend and jump your legs out. Turn your right leg out, keep the left foot firm. Inhale with an exhalation, going down to Trikonasana. From here, bending the leg to Parsva Konasana, reaching forward and lifting the left leg up. As you lift the left leg up, see that both the arms and the legs are straight, keeping your balance, knees straight, elbows straight, turning from the right side of the chest to the left. Now from here, bend your leg, throw that left leg back, land in Parsva Konasana, use the top arm, Trikonasana, inhale and come up, turn your toes in, and you can jump back or you can reposition yourself. I'm going to jump back so I have space on this side. So I'm just resetting myself back to the center of the mat, taking a little recovery breath in between the poses, focusing my attention. And then once more, hands in the center, jump and spread your legs out. Turn your left leg out completely. Keep your back leg firm. Lift both sides of the torso, elongating the torso going down, coming into Trikonasana on the left side. From here, moving into Parsva Konasana and then transitioning smoothly into Ardha Chandrasana. As you stay in the pose, keep your eyes steady, keep your legs straight, arms straight, breathe comfortably. Make sure that the weight is more on the heel rather than the toes of your left leg. To come down, extend your right leg long, let it go back. So you land in Parsva Konasana. From here, coming into Trikonasana, and then use the top arm to lift yourself up so you're back in position. Turn your toes in, jump, and bring your legs back. Virabhadrasana 3. So once more, positioning yourself, settling your breath again in Samasthiti, shifting yourself to adjust yourself in the room. So I need to shift a little bit to this side, coming into Virabhadrasana 1 and then transitioning into 3. Hands in the center, jump and spread your legs out. Inhale and lift and stretch your arms up, turning yourself to the right to Virabhadrasana 1, and then from 1, extending forward, reaching and lifting the back leg up. Keep your chest parallel to the floor, keep extending through the back leg and keeping your eyes steady. Now bend your leg here as well, throw that back leg so you can come in to Virabhadrasana 1. Use your arms, come up, turn yourself, bring your hands down, come back to the center and pause. Shoulders back, elbows straight, and moving to the left side. Hands in the center, jump and spread your legs out. With an inhalation, lift and stretch your arms up. Lift the sides of the chest, turning yourself to the left, coming into Virabhadrasana 1 and shifting over to Virabhadrasana 3. Keep extending the arms, your eyes focus, legs firm. Soft, smooth inhale and exhale. Now bend your leg, throwing the leg back, coming into Virabhadrasana 1 again, and coming up. Turn yourself and jump and bring yourself back. Pause here for a few moments. Shoulders going back, shoulder blades down the back, elbows straight, observing the breath. Normal soft inhale and exhale. We take a short pause in Uttanasana. So you can keep your feet hip distance apart, lifting the chest, taking your arms up, elongating the torso as you go down, holding your ankles or placing your hands on the floor, letting your head go down. Your legs remain straight. Remember to move your sitting bones forward so they are just above your heels. Your whole front body goes long. The elbows are wide, letting the head go down, knees straight, legs straight. Especially here, if you find your upper back is rounding too much, it's okay to stay more higher because it's more about extension of our torso and opening the back of the legs, the buttock, the hamstrings. Now look forward, reach your arms, inhale and come up. Turn around to face forward, pause, and then we are going to go to Padangusthasana. You can take a belt if you cannot hold your big toes, and also if you have any difficulty, you can continue to do Uttanasana with your hands on the block or even your hands against the wall. If you find going down with your hands to grab your big toes is not happening, you could just extend your torso and stay in this position as well. However, we are going to do Padangusthasana. So stand with your feet hip distance apart. With an inhale, lift and stretch your arms up, elongating the torso, taking your hands down, grab the big toes with your first 2 fingers, press the big toe into the first 2 fingers at the same time, lengthen your torso up. Here too, the arms are straight, both sides of the torso are extending forward, you're shifting your body weight in such a way so your sitting bones will stack up above the heels. And it's from there that you elongate your torso and you go down. Let your head go down. You fall dangerously forward because this forces you to work your legs. You're more forward. So the bottom can go up towards the ceiling. The pelvis can go down. The head can go down. And your belly can go closer and closer to the legs. The sitting bones line up above your heels. Keep pressing your big toes, widening your elbows,
elongating the torso. Stay for a few moments. Opening the back of the legs, opening the buttocks area, the lower back, the head, the shoulders. Now straighten out your arms again. Bring your hands on the hips. Straight legs. Inhale and come up. Now we go to Virasana. So you can just take a moment and just sit down in Virasana. So you can sit on the floor. I'm going to use a block just to give myself a little bit more freedom in terms of sitting. So we finished more or less our standing poses and we move on to the seated poses. Most of these you have done for many weeks, so you should be quite familiar with them, being able to do them, and the more you practice, you get better. So let's sit for a moment in Virasana. Helps to stretch out the quadriceps after we have done a lot of standing poses, which does kind of weigh on the strength of the legs. So sit quietly here for a few moments. Normal soft inhale and exhale, breathing in and breathing out. You can even place your hands, settling down, pressing the tops of the feet. Observing the breath, normal soft inhale and exhale. Now from Virasana, we are going to move to Dandasana. So I am going to move the block out. You can use blankets if you need, especially if you're unable to sit flat on the floor. If you're able to sit and not feel any tension on your lower back, then you can sit straight. Both legs are straight. Move the shins down, the thighs down. Place your hands on the sides of the body so that you can press into the hands to lift the sides of the chest, taking the outer shoulders back. Look straight, moving the back of the body in, lifting the front ribs up and away, and descending your thighs down. Dandasana. It's the base, just like Tadasana is for the standing poses. Dandasana is the base for seated poses. The hands are straight beside your hips. Your head is upward. Your legs are straight, knees straight, elbows straight. And also the chest is forward. The head is back and the back of the body is moving in. Staying here quietly, observing the breath for a few moments in Dandasana. Now for Dandasana, similar to when we did Tadasana, we move to Urdhva Hastasana. So you reach your arms forward and with an inhalation, go ahead and reach your arms up. Please note that usually it's when the tightness of the shoulders and the collapse, the arms stay forward. So we use the arms in a way to lift up. So it lifts the sides of the body up. And as you lift your arms up, you work on moving the arms behind your ears. So the arms go back, the ribs, the shoulder blades move in. At the same time, see that you're pressing your feet down, your heels down, your thighs down, descending the outer hips down, and lifting the whole pelvis up and away from the torso, up and away from the pelvis. The pelvis descends down to the floor. Now, maintaining the lift and lengthening of the spine, reach forward, grab your big toes. This is like Patanjali, but this is Patanjali in Dandasana. So you hold Patanjali. So you hold here, you grab the big toes, roll the outer upper arms out, and shoulder blades go into the back. The back rib moves in. The chest is forward, lifting from the base of the spine, holding the big toes firmly, and yet using the arms to lift the sides of the chest. Breathe comfortably. Soft, smooth inhale and exhale. Here the legs are straight. The arms are straight, and you're using the arms to elongate both sides of the torso. Now reach with your arms. Inhale and come up, and bring your hands down. Now from here, we are going to go for Baddha Konasana. So you can come facing forward. You bring the soles of your feet closer together, bringing them in. Use your hands at the beginning to move your pelvis forward. Use your hands on the sides of the body, from the inner legs, moving outward towards the knees, using the hands, chest open. And again, if in this pose you find you are tighter on the hip, you do have to sit higher. So then please do take the right height that is necessary for you. And at the beginning, even if you are sitting higher and you find yourself quite tight on the hips, which is true for many of us, and you must use the hands to lift your waistline up, and then you come forward a little bit, and then you find that you have a little bit more freedom on the pelvis. You can use your hands against your thighs, working on opening from the hips. And again, it's kind of persistent, consistent work that slowly opens the legs, the groins, the hips. And a lot of our, our preliminary course is about this, that it is focused on opening the body and strengthening the body and getting an awareness of the body. So some of you, having gone through the courses, might be quite disappointed in a sense that, oh, we're doing the same kind of poses over and over again. But it's almost like a dosage of medicine. And if you don't take the dosage over a period of time, you will not see the benefits. So it's like, oh, you have to practice it regularly to let your body adapt, to learn the movements, not only just intellectually, but through your practice. And as you keep doing it, you will notice definite changes that occur in the body. So keep going. And the practice of yoga requires a kind of patience, a kind of application, showing up. And our culture is very, motivated by excitement, meaning there has to be what's new, what's novel. But I think that also sort of dumbs us down because it stops us from going deep into anything. It's almost like, what's the excitement? And my brain is only capable of responding to new exciting things. And the moment it's not exciting anymore, it's like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. But what happens with that is that, first of all, you're just responding to this dopamine hit, which is why you never have the ability to concentrate or be attentive to anything. And secondly, you don't develop the resilience to go past that boredom bridge in a way, meaning you come to that gateway of boredom and you're like, oh, this is too boring, and walk away. But actually beyond that doorway of boredom lies ability to tap into your new potential, which is buried behind that door. So without using too many words, it's almost like the door of boredom has buried or hidden behind it a new possibility. So it's those practitioners who are willing to sit through the boredom, do the same thing over and over again, that they are the ones who kind of reach a sense of mastery and skill. So Baddha Konasana, and talking about boredom, and now you've been doing the pose for a long time while I'm entertaining you with such unnecessary topics, but that is what builds our practice. Okay, so anyway, that was a long hold of Baddha Konasana. So ouch, let's come out of that. And we are going to do, what's the next thing? Upavista Konasana. That's also another groin opening pose. You can sit on the floor. You can sit on a blanket. I'm sitting on the floor for now. So you spread the legs out.
Have your toes pointing up. Take your attention to the root of the thighs, pressing the thighs down. Place your hands on the sides of the body, again pressing the fingertips, shoulders back, extending from the inner groin, inner knee to the inner heel, opening the bottom of the foot. Often a good idea to practice sitting like this instead of sitting on a chair all day long. And it's always good to sit in different ways. So Upavista Konasana. Once more, it's a very good pose in terms of opening all these parts of the body. The more mobile you become, then the ability to carry your spine up more vertically, as opposed to letting your chest collapse into the pelvis, which is not very good. So Upavista Konasana. And then from Upavista Konasana, we go Parvatasana and Virasana. So you can sit in Virasana again. You can sit on the block or not on the block. Tops of the feet pressing down. Stretch your arms straight in front of you. Interlacing the hands. Turning the palms out. With an inhalation, go up. Lift the side chest up. Upper arms in. Take your upper arms behind your head. Descend your hips down. Change. The interlace. Inhale and up. Arms extended. Upper arms back. Shoulder blades in. Lift up. Stretch up. Descend your outer hips down. Press the tops of the feet. Bring your hands down. And then we go to Gomukhasana. So Gomukhasana, we have I'm going to use a block so that it is easier to sit in the pose. So you can sit, have both your legs straight. And we have to take our right leg into Virasana. Left leg comes on top. You bring your feet as close as possible. You can sit on the pelvis. Sit on your block. Have the knees stacked up on top of each other. Starting out actually with your right arm. Take your right arm back. Extend. Take your right hand behind. Take your left hand from below. And holding. Also, when you're in this pose, you stretch the arm up, bringing your left elbow closer to the torso. Sitting evenly on the pelvis. This is also another challenge for both the hips and the shoulders. Change. Let's change the legs as well, actually, sitting in Dandasana. And then bringing your left leg under, your right leg over, bringing your feet as close to the outer hips as possible. The toes point back. It's a compactness. The outer hips draw in closer. It's a squeezing in of the outer hip bones. And then from here, go ahead and lift your left arm up. Stretch up, bend the elbow. Take your right hand from below, clasping or even using a belt if necessary. Bringing your armpits back, opening the armpit chest, shoulder blades down the back. Soft, smooth inhale and exhale. Now release. And now it is time for Salamba Sirsasana. So setting yourself up. If you're not doing Sirsasana, then you can just perhaps do an Urdhva Hastasana. So you can do another variation, spreading the hands. You can lift your hips up. And you can be in Urdhva Hastasana while we do Sirsasana. Yeah. So especially if you have any head, neck issue, then Urdhva Hastasana could be an alternative. Otherwise, if you're doing Sirsasana, we can do at least a minute or so. As we are beginners, we are slowly working up into 1 to 2 minutes or even 3 minutes. But let's do 1 1.5 minutes for today. So once more, interlacing your hands, making sure you're evenly pressing your forearms down. Place the crown of your head. I'm showing you the side view again today a little bit so that you can see that my shoulders are lifting. As I walk in closer, I try to go up with my legs. Maybe, okay, this would not probably be true for most of us at this stage. So you can bend your legs and you keep it close, and then you slowly take your knees back and buttocks in, and then straighten your legs. Yeah, and of course, if you need a wall, you can go to a wall and do the same, or even do with one leg at a time. There are a few videos where you can observe how to do the pose. And again, as I said, if you're unable to do the pose, please do Adho Mukha Svanasana, or downward facing dog, as it is often called. Keep your eyes steady. Remember to keep your legs straight, actively lifting your spine up. Shoulder blades remain in. That way, Gomukhasana is a great preparation for this because it helps you to keep your armpits open. And especially if your shoulders are tight, your hamstrings are still tight, it is very difficult to go into Shirshasana. But Shirshasana is very good for the entire system, which is why it's a pose that is something to work towards, even if you are a beginner, because it's an important part. The inversions are very useful in terms of our health and well-being. And so we do this because it's good for the brain and the nervous system. So stay in the pose as long as you feel comfortable. I'm going to do 10 seconds more. And now slowly bend your knees and come down. And it's good to just rest for a few moments. Now slowly lift yourself up, and we are going to move on to the rest of the inversions. So that is Sarvangasana. So once more, as our usual ritual, I pause the video, I set up the props, and you can do the same. Join me. So getting ready for the Sarvangasana cycle, again, quite a critical part of Iyengar Yoga practice is building your inversion practice, because Sarvangasana has many benefits, and as we keep doing all the variations, we are able to benefit the whole endocrine system and the nervous system, the physiological system immensely. So we start out with holding Sarvangasana for a few moments. By now, you are quite aware of how to get in and out of the pose. Make sure your elbows are pressing evenly down. You're using your hands to lift your back. Keep the weight of your legs more towards the elbows. Don't bring them too much towards your face. And please take enough height in terms of blankets so that there's no tension on your neck. Since in the Iyengar system, we stay in these poses for a much longer time, it is important that you do your setup in such a way that there's no tension in your neck and face. Effort is required in terms of your legs, your arms working, but the head is receiving the pose, the legs are doing the work. The neck should not take pressure.
So keep working your legs in Sarvangasana, lifting your back, pressurizing your elbows. Tailbone in, thighs back. Now we go for Eka Pada Sarvangasana. So keep stretching your left leg as you take your right leg down. You can take it down to the floor, but see that your left leg is going straight up and not back. Again, lifting the back. Take your left leg down to the floor. Keep lifting and stretching your right leg up. Then lift your left leg back up. Then we go for the Parsva Eka Pada Sarvangasana. So it's a good way to actually start with taking it down to halfway and then moving from the outer hip. So you maintain firmness on the outer hips. Keep lifting from the back of the body. You can take your leg down to the floor if you're able to, or just keep it straight. Then inhale and come up. Again, lifting your back. Taking your left leg down, keeping your right leg as the straight balancing point. And yes, actually we go halfway and then take it out to the side. Taking it down to the floor. Reaching with your right leg up, keeping the back of the body lifting. And then bring the leg back up. Once more, lifting your back, buttocks in. Moving your legs down to Ardha Halasana. It's far more challenging to hold the pose here. And then slowly moving to Halasana. And then from Halasana, you can go to Karnapindasana. And then from Karnapindasana, we go to Supta Konasana. Now from Supta Konasana, we go to Parsva Halasana. So that means you walk your legs all the way to the right. Keep your hips level. And then come back to the center and walk your legs all the way to the left. Keep both your hips level, legs straight. Now come back to the center. And then from here, slowly, you may come down and back. Taking a few breaths, normal soft inhale and exhale. Now come up. And from here, we are going to do Bharadvajasana. Now you can do Bharadvajasana on this setup itself. So in fact, the height of your blankets is quite useful. So we start by always turning to the right side. So you can move your feet over to the left. So as you see, I'm sitting in Bharadvajasana. I'm using the support of the whole Sarvangasana blanket for the height of the hips. Lift your left arm up, turning yourself to the right. And here the support of the blanket also gives me a good leverage point in terms of lifting both sides of the torso up, using the hand against the blanket to roll my shoulder back, moving the back ribs in, using the hands as a leverage to turn from the abdomen, turn from the chest. Looking straight, sternum up. And now come back to the center. And then I'm going to shift to the other side, and you can do the same. And you can see the back of the body. So also the position of the foot is clearer here. You can see how the top of the foot is resting on the arch of the bottom foot. Also, the hips are level here. I move this blanket because it's making my knees uneven. So I press the outer hips down, lift the chest up. Now this time, turning to the left, lifting the whole right side of the chest up, keeping the right outer hip down, keeping the weight on the outer edge of your right sitting bone, turning from the abdomen, turning from the chest, taking the arm across, holding the knee, and revolving the back ribs. See that your center from here, we are trying to really turn the back ribs away from the spine. And on our left side, the left shoulder goes back. Lift the torso, turning the abdomen, turning the chest. Now come back to the center. And then we can do Paschimottanasana. Once more, you can do it in the same height, or you can reduce your height. It's good sometimes when we have a bit more height, because then that way the pelvis is lifted better. You have an easier lift of the pelvis, the hips lifting, reaching your arms up, lengthening the torso, going forward, Paschimottanasana. Stay with your sides of the chest lengthening, going forward from the pelvis, head forward, legs straight. Once more, as you press your thighs, you create the lengthening from the sacrum, moving the chest forward, head down. Inhale and come up. Janu Sirsasana. So for this, I'm going to sit a little bit more on the floor. You don't need a mat actually. So bending your right leg, keeping your left leg straight. I'll use the blanket for my head though, so then my head can rest. Reaching up with the arms, pressing the knee down, turning from the right side of the waist, elongating the torso, going forward and letting your head rest. Janu Sirsasana. And the forward bends bring a sense of quietness after having practiced the inversions. So it prepares you to go into Shavasana. So letting your forehead rest here is a good idea. Often when we are doing forward bends at the the middle of the sequence, then it's more active. But now it's more quietening to calm your nervous system down. So again, the same pose placed in a different position of the sequence has a different effect. Now inhale and come up. And we do Janu Sirsasana on the left side. So bending your left leg, keeping your right leg straight. Once more using your blanket as necessary, or the block, or even a chair. Reaching up with the arms, lifting the waistline up, chest up, going forward from the pelvis, keeping the back ribs in, going down and letting your head rest. Stay quiet, normal inhale and exhale. Inhale and come up. Triyanga Mukha Pada, Paschimottanasana. So here too, you can use the support, especially if you find Virasana very challenging. You can sit higher, I bend my right leg in Virasana, left leg is straight, reaching up with the arms, elongating the torso, going forward from the pelvis. Once more, letting the head go down. Inhale and come up. Triyanga Mukha Pada on the left side. I'm using the advantage of the setup. Bending my left leg in Virasana, right leg is straight. Reaching up, lift the waistline, lift the chest. Go forward from the pelvis. Head down. Inhale and come up. And bring your hands down. And then we do Marichasana 1. Here also, you can use the same position. The right leg bends, your left leg is straight. Marichasana 1 done as a forward bend here, not as a twist. So reach your arms up, go forward. Keep your knee and leg straight. Head down, chest down, spreading your back ribs. Inhale and come up. Left side. Right leg straight. Taking your left knee out. Reach up with the arms. Stretch up. Elongating the torso. Going down. Inhale and come up. And we can do one Upavista Konasana here too. So stretching the legs out. Once more, sitting higher does give a bit more freedom on the groins. You can use your hands on the blanket, pressing the hands down, pressing the feet down, descending the thighs down, lifting the chest up, shoulders back. Soft, smooth inhale and exhale. And now slowly, we're going to bring our knees in close and then final for your Shavasana. So I'm just going to clear up my props a little bit so I can do my Shavasana in ease. So I've set up my mat and my blanket for Shavasana. So today's sequence, including Shavasana, is 35 asanas and relatively simple, as in we start with a set of standing poses, then we do a few seated poses, and then we spend the bulk of it doing some inversions. That is, and then finally some cooling seated poses. And that itself could become quite a very simple sequence for you to practice, because by now, really the whole, the impact of practice in the physical, the mental, and the emotional body is quite amazing to observe. So even if you have a bit of time yourself and just choosing to put on the video, using that as an inspiration that you can set up your own props and practicing is very useful. And it's not often that we can have the opportunity to practice in a class. And I can't say that this is the best substitute, but at least something better than nothing. And for myself, I would say this has been a very good way of building a discipline in terms of setting out a task and determining to finish it. I still haven't finished it, but I have determined it, and therefore I will. And so hopefully you too will continue to practice. And now it's time for Shavasana. So set yourself up well and give yourself some quiet time, well deserved if you've come all this way. Roll the outer shoulders down and just spend a few moments in quietness. So let go of the legs, the arms, the legs, the head. All these are organs of action, as they're often called.
That means we use our head to think, to plan, and we use our arms and legs to do things in the world. And when you are in Shavasana, you are taking a position of repose, of Shavasana. Shava is a corpse, so kind of dying, a mini death. Perhaps the word death is much, what shall I say, feared. And yet the yogis always look at Shavasana as a gateway into finding that part of ourself which is beyond the body. And so we might die in the body, we might close off our senses, all the senses which are constantly taking our mind outwards. We might die in terms of engaging in the world, but we are opening our awareness to a boundless area within our hearts and minds, which is beyond the body. So being in that silence, in the non-conceptual world, beyond thought, for a few moments. Let go arms, your legs, and just be quiet. Now slowly, if you're ready to come out, you can begin to take another deep, slow, long inhale and exhale. Bring your right hand and your left hand back on your belly. Pause here for a few moments. And then gently bend your right knee, your left knee, rolling yourself to the right side, keeping your right arm bent, letting your head rest. And then using your left hand, pressing into the floor. Inhale and come up. And once more, if you watched so far, thank you. And I wish you well. Namaste.